Here's what people don't know. Sylvester Stallone's real life mirrors the movie. Anybody know that? Good, you guys are in for a treat because I know the story. All right, Stallone, ever since he was a little kid, he wanted to be an actor. Now, he didn't want to be in TV, he wanted to be in movies. Know who you are. There it is. He was real specific. He's like, I want to be in movies. So he is from Pennsylvania and he moves to New York City. And he goes to all these talent agencies. And if you hear him tell you a story, he says, I've been thrown out of 1,500 agencies. People say you're embellishing. There aren't 1,500 talent agencies in New York. He says, I know, I've been thrown out all the same ones 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I keep going to them, they keep throwing me out, right? Very little success. So he goes around and finally he actually gets a job after going to all these agencies. And here's the job. 20-second piece in a no-name movie. You don't even see him. His role, he's a thug. He gets beaten up for 20 seconds. That's his thing. No one even knows who he is. And the guy tells him, you're not a likable guy. He goes, this is a perfect job for you. See, he had another obstacle. He didn't look normal. And he talked a little funny, right? Anyone ever hear him talk? It's not his fault. When he was born, he had to be, there was a medical emergency. They had to use forceps to get him out. Okay? So he talks a little funny and he looks a little odd. Not exactly what you want if you're trying to get into acting, right? That's why I'm in radio. I got a face for radio. That's why I do that. Okay? So he's got some obstacles. Now there's something else going on here too you got to know about. He's dead broke. He has no money. Zilch. He's married at the time. And his wife is hammering him. Go out, get a job. You're chasing this dream. It's not going to work. All this stuff we're talking about, right? Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to work. You're not going to be successful. Things are so tough, he can't even afford to pay for heat. Doesn't even have any heat. So here he is. He's in New York City. No heat. His wife's hammering him. But he knows what he wants to do. So he spends time at the library. Now, he doesn't go there to read. He goes there because it's warm. That's what he tells people. He goes, my wife's hammering me, and it's warm here. I'll go here. So he goes to the library, New York Public Library, and he figures, you know what? While I'm here, I may as well read, right? May as well do something. So he starts reading Edgar Allan Poe, and he gets inspired. And he says, you know what? He goes, I want to inspire people. I'm going to write movies that inspire people. That's what he says he's going to do, right? So he starts writing these movies, and he goes back to all these agencies. They don't like it. They tell him it sucks. They say, this is not any good. He keeps going. And he keeps going. He finds this one guy who says, I like the movie. $100. That's what he gives him. $100 for the script. He says, you know what, I'll take it. That's all the guy's got, right? No money, things aren't working. But it gives him something. The belief that it's possible, right? The belief that it's possible. So, he's got $100. It becomes this movie some years later, Paradise Alley. It doesn't become Rocky. That's the movie it becomes a number of years later. Now, things are getting worse for this guy. He's basically run out of money, and he does the dumbest thing a man can do. Now, I know most of you aren't married here, but I'll give you a little bit of marital advice for being married for 12 years. He sells his wife's jewelry. Don't do that. That is a very, very big mistake. Do not, I don't care how bad it gets, don't do that. So needless to say, she is not real happy. Things are not good at home. He sells his wife's jewelry, and you can't see this, but that's him and that's his dog, his best friend in the world. Loves his dog. Things got so bad for him, right? His wife, that's done. No heat. Things got so bad, he couldn't afford to feed his dog. And he goes down to the liquor store and sells his dog. Gets $25. Any dog lovers in here? My wife hears me do this presentation. She bursts into tears. She loves dogs. Sells his dog. That's pretty bad, right? So he's a pretty miserable guy. He's got nothing. You can't see this, unfortunately. I'm sorry, this doesn't look better. That's Muhammad Ali. Everyone knows who he is, right? Champ of the world, best boxer of our time. The guy over on the right, anyone know who that is? It's a no-name guy by the name of Chuck Wepner. No one ever heard of the guy. And Stallone is watching this fight, and Wepner is getting mauled. He's hammering Wepner. Well, Wepner keeps getting back up. And he keeps getting back up, and he keeps fighting, and he keeps going. And the crowd is getting behind Wepner. That never happened before, right? Everyone's motivated by Wepner. So he gets an idea, and he's like, I'm getting jazzed by this, and he comes up with the idea that he's going to write a movie about that. 3 days straight, he writes. He doesn't leave his house. 3 days straight, he starts writing. He comes up with a script. He calls it Rocky. He goes to all these talent agencies. The first one, they tell him it's not any good. The second one, this thing is not good. 5th one, no good. 10th, no good. 15th, they throw him out. 20th one, it's predictable. It's sappy. It's not well written. Never work. Goes to the 20th one, same thing. 25th one, same thing. 30th one, same thing. Finally comes to 2 guys. He shows them the script. They love it. They go, this is the best thing ever. This thing's going to be huge. We're going to give you $100,000 for this script. This guy just sold his dog. He's going to get $100,000 for this script. He goes bananas, right? He's made. And what does he say? He says, you guys got a deal, but I got to be in the movie. And they say, that's not part of it. We need a big name in this. He goes, that's me. I know who I am. That's me. That's my story. I got to be in the movie. And they said no. And he turned it down. $100,000 and he turns it down. They call him up a week later. They say, this thing's going to be huge. We got to have this movie. He says, I got to be in it. They said, no, we got Ryan O'Neal. He's a big name actor. He says, that's me. That's my story. I come with it. He says, no deal. He turns down $250,000. He just sold his dog, $250,000. He says no. They call him back one last time. They said $330,000. He goes, I got to be in that movie. They said nope. And he says, then no deal. And he slams the phone down. Week later, they call him back up. They say, all right, we're going to give you $35,000 because we don't think this is going to work. But this way, you'll share some of the risk too. $35,000 and you can be in the movie. He goes, I'll take it. Turns down $330,000. He says, I'm going to take $35,000 to be in the movie. That year, Rocky goes on, and part of the profits. That year, Rocky goes on to gross $200 million, is the greatest movie of the year, wins all kinds of awards because he took that risk. Guy had nothing. He's offered all these things. He turns all of it down. He knows who he is. There he is up there standing there on the night of the awards. Those are the 2 guys who bought the script. And he stands up there. He thanks everyone. And then, and I love this, he rattles off all the things that people said to him of why he wasn't going to be successful. And he said all the things that the people at the agencies told him why he wasn't going to be successful. And then he grabbed the award and he walked off the stage.